So I'm just getting used to this new phone, and it has one aspect of it is that I can pause the video. So I mistakenly believed that I could pause the video and then go look at another app and continue the video, but that wasn't the case. So I intended to pause at the end. That's why I didn't end off, with like, share, and subscribe, at the end of the video. I was talking about various meditations. If you didn't see the previous video, one that I learned from yesterday from Rabbi Avi Weiss, and then this more of a secular meditation I learned from Deborah Winger, even though she grew up through them, but I don't think she learned all these Kabbalistic things, just to be honest. Rabbi Weiss probably did, to a certain extent. But that's none of these things are really what I want to talk about today. I was mentioning that I like to listen to the Writer's Almanac, and I got off on a tangent about pleasant voices and things like that. It really wasn't what I meant to talk about. I'm just totally extemporaneous. Just let the words come out. If people like to listen, they can listen. I just got a whole bunch of new subscribers, and that's a wonderful thing. And I'd like to, make maybe some programs, how to get more subscribers. How to, I was watching, a series that was trying to sell me, how to make your videos viral, and I would like to learn how to do that. But I think they also gave enough information that I can learn certain things from what they taught in the free videos. That don't need to right away pay for any extra training. I don't know. I know I need to make these videos more professional and things, but if you find the formulas, you figure these things out. Or just keep making videos. That's just my feelings. I just make the videos, put them there, make the videos, and whatever God decides, I put my faith in God that if this is going to become a big YouTube channel, it could, but it's not up to me, whether or not it's I just put in the shtadlus, it's like someone said, if you buy one lottery ticket, that's faith, but if you buy 2 lottery tickets, that's a lack of faith. Meaning, one lottery ticket, that's the hishtadlus you have to do. But then other people say, no, if God wants you to have $1 million, you don't need the lottery ticket either. So my approach is I'll make the videos, I'll do my best, I'll just say whatever words God wants me to say. If He wants people to hear it, and God has linked me up with the people who need to hear these words, and that I know for a fact. It's not just a matter of belief. It's something that I've seen people who I'm thankful to have a relationship now thanks to these videos. People who communicate with me back, both positive and wonderful people, and even the negative and the hate and things. There's also a purpose to that. The people who watch my videos express horrible words of hatred. I feel there's a big thing to be gained by that. Not just views, but the dialogue also. And not because I'm looking to change them, but looking that we can all see each other as human beings. In any event, I would really like to listen to Glenn Beck this morning, so I don't want to make this video too long. But it's just interesting, on this radio show, they didn't have the show this morning on WAMC, which is a NPR station from Albany. They didn't have the show that I wanted to listen to, the Writer's Almanac, because they were collecting money for victims of Hurricane Harvey. And some people made statements as well. So there were two statements that came out. There's a fellow, Alan Shartok. I disagree strongly with just about everything he says. Yet I have a certain respect for him. He's a professor. I enjoy listening to him, even though I disagree with him. When I met Congressman Faso a few weeks ago, I wanted to say to him, I didn't say to him, but I wanted to say how I appreciated how he always treats Alan Shartok with so much respect, which is so difficult to do, and how he maintains a calm demeanor, and how incredible is how the congressman manages to do that in the face of such a difficult, antagonist there in the person of Alan Shartok. But this morning, they were talking about they were raising money for the Hurricane Fund. And that people also made comments. So one comment was that one comment was the type of comment I feel is the right type of comment, and there was one comment that I felt was the wrong type of comment. What do I mean by that? So the one that I felt was the right type of comment was the second comment. The second comment was someone saying Tikkun Olam, which, even though I disagree with interpreting this term Tikkun Olam to be some kind of a social justice gospel, I recognize, what they're saying there. And then the next thing that I had to and so Alan Shartok commented on that. When we say the prayers on the high holidays, and here's a person who's viciously anti-Orthodox, and yet he says when we say the prayers on the high holidays, this is the type of things we should think of. And a lot of folks are familiar with Leonard Cohen, who by fire and who by water and who in a storm, and of course that comes from our high holiday liturgy from the Nisana Tokef. And I think that's the right response. And then there's this tshuva, with tefillah, with tzedakah, mavir Israel hakzera. how repentance and prayer and charity, although that's not the proper translation, some might say alms, is perhaps a bit more fitting, but the real word is justice, and that is social justice. That is what tzedakah really is social justice. But not in the way that the left understands social justice, that it means, I don't know, killing babies and things like that, but but tzedakah, what most people call charity, is actually social justice. That is true. Tikkun olam is really more or less turning the whole world to God, and it's definitely not what the left embraces religiously. I mean, the actual description of Tikkun Olam that we can think of is the second paragraph of Aleinu, which the Reform movement likes to remove from the liturgy because they feel it's too mean-spirited, and so where it's really just words of hope for a better world. And the key to that better world is God, is Torah. That's the real social justice. That people are not aware of that. And so things, it's like how people call themselves progressive and they're actually regressive politically, but they call themselves progressive, where how the alt-right is really a left-wing movement, but they call themselves alt-right, where the point is that they're really an alternative to the right, but in a left-wing manifestation of that. Not a liberal manifestation, it's but not a conservative one either. It's a fascistic one. It's really the ultimate expression of left and right. But this is exactly the opposite of what I want to talk about this morning, and I regret even opening my mouth to talk about these things, because the other side, the comment that I didn't like, I'm sorry it came out, but I'm honest. This is, I didn't want to talk about politics. I really wanted to say Musar against politics. I really wanted to rebuke those who have to make everything political, because it's not. And the thing is, I do it too, and so I'm talking to myself of how I have to fix this in my own personal life, this knee-jerk reaction to politicize things that should not be politicized. It's totally inappropriate to politicize, and it doesn't matter which side you're politicizing it. And so the political comment, of course, this is NPR, it's a left-wing station, and so they said it's someone who donated, they had to make their statement. You don't have to make a statement, they could just put your name, it could just be anonymous, They said, so whatever, this person who made this, now I'm not going to get to hear them back. This person who made this statement, I could listen to it later, but I know I'm not going to. This person had to make their political statement. They said, this storm was caused by global warming, by climate change, whatever, and we got to stop the fossil fuels. Now, there could be arguments, scientific arguments, to just the opposite, of how the warming effect would actually cool down the oceans and prevent storms like this, scientifically. That's a possibility. Fact of the matter is, there have been much fewer storms now in the past few years than there have been, and these storms have not really been any worse than other storms. It's just an act of nature, and it's very hard to pinpoint any of these things, and there's quite a bit of possibility that if indeed there is some man-made climate change, which most likely there isn't, and even if there is, it's minuscule compared to things that could take place through just things like geothermic activity, which, a really strong volcano can change the climate in ways that are much more devastating than anything human activity can do. That's a clear scientific fact. But again, is this the time and the place to bring these things up? But there's much worse reactions than that. That's a minor reaction, and I feel it's the wrong type of reaction. It's not the time and the place to discuss this right now. We can discuss these things at another time, and now we should just be helping each other, which most people are doing, especially because the folks in Texas just help each other. I mean, with all of the disaster that went on, the loss of life has been minuscule, but things could change. The worst is still possible, but there have been tremendous miracles there as well. I was walking yesterday in Manhattan, and I was so upset walking in Manhattan and driving in Manhattan. I went to this program and I really enjoyed it, but again, this angry feeling came upon me, which I know was wrong. And I should have just, accepted God's will, and I have to repent of that failure to accept God's will. But the parking lot, which was right next to where I was going, was full, and I drove around and I found a parking lot like a mile away. I didn't even realize how far away I was, because I was just driving around just looking for parking, and I drive into the parking lot and I didn't realize how expensive it was to go to this parking lot. And I wound up being there for over 2 hours, so with the taxes and everything and the fees, it wound up being like $52 to park, and I just was so upset. But I had reasons why I felt that it was appropriate for me to attend this conference. Usually I don't go to these things, and the reason that I went, I'll admit, was probably a selfish one, hoping that I can network to try to get a job. But it's not just selfish, because I have a family to think about. In less time from now until, from when I was married until now, right? Or just about the same time, perhaps into the future, it's most likely, if God blesses me as such, and I hope it will be so, that my oldest daughter will already be in Shidduchim and maybe be a Kala. I have to think about a Chasna already, and I have to plan ahead for these type of things, and it's so difficult when you're just going paycheck to paycheck, and you can't save any money, and Baruch Hashem, I'm not on food stamps anymore. That could change, I could always go back. You never know if the jobs that I have the security. But just at the moment, thank God, I'm not on food stamps anymore. And I thank the president. I think it's really, thanks to him that the economy has gotten better, that I got a new job, and I don't need these, it's one less program that I have to take from, which I don't want to take from if I don't have to, when I can, but I didn't want to talk about this. So, and thank God it wasn't the end of the world for me to pay $52 one time for parking. The thing is, I have to be, I went to this event to network for an interview I have tomorrow, and I just hope that maybe there I'll be able to find parking on the street. I don't know, but you never know. I don't know how these things work. I'm not used to Manhattan. I really don't. But I had this horrible feeling, this horrible expression and reaction to having to walk through Manhattan and see all, and this is the fancy part of Manhattan, all the gashmias, all the materialism, and I had so many negative thoughts that I really have to remove from my heart and really open my heart to love, but it's so difficult. And I was like, I'm embarrassed to say this, but the only reason I'm saying this is because I had a different insight now that I wanted to share. And I said, Texas, there's such nice, holy people there in Texas. They're so godly. They didn't deserve this disaster. New York deserved it. But then, and I should have never thought a thing like that, and I should never say a thing like that, and I don't mean it. Chas v'sholom, God forbid, it shouldn't happen to anyone. But I had a reflection now, and I don't want to, I shouldn't say this, I'll tiftach pelasatan, but they talk about what a horrible genocide is going on in Iceland of abortion to put an end to Down syndrome. How there's no more Down syndrome in Iceland because they just abort all the babies with Down syndrome. And the thing is that I know special people who are just tremendous souls, who are just such holy people, and they have this burden of a child with Down syndrome, and yet, or with some other similar condition. And since a child, I've noticed that it's only very special people who have the merit to bear this challenge. Meaning the people who have these children are often some of the best people in the world. And meaning that God only allows these people who can handle that burden to have that burden. But not only that, it's not only about people who can handle it, but people who are worthy through their godliness to be a proper steward to such a holy soul. The story goes that Chazon Ish stood up whenever someone who had Down syndrome or autism or something came to visit them, and showed them respect, because he said this is a very holy soul on a very high level, and so he demonstrated respect. It's so fascinating to me, because here I was yesterday at this meeting, New York Board of Rabbis, which I know as Katoyan and Maskar, I know all the Gedolim say you should join these clubs and things. all right, so I'm a sinner. What should I do? I mean, I joined really because I want to get a job, but there's certain jobs that you can't get unless you. And all right, people say you should have bitachon and emunah, but I speak to my rebbeim and they said that's narishkeit. There's no halacha that you can't, and so many things that just be, and it's not an insult to the Gedolei Yisrael. I have tremendous respect for them. It's just there's a recognition that certain things are for certain people in certain places, and not everything is a halacha. Not every word that comes out of a person who might have this gift of das Torah is necessarily das Torah. They're not infallible. And also different things are for different people, and certain things are for public consumption, certain things are for private consumption. It's well known that Rav Victor Miller, was vehement against popular media, television, movies, things like that. He was one, he had a young Israel Rav who spoke against television as unheard of, and he had no fear, and he did it. And yet, Myers Yeshiva, who was the president of the shul, and he was the treasurer, and later the president of the shul in the Young Israel of Rugby. So Myers Yeshiva, Moshe Lazarus Shlita, tremendous person, someone who finished Shas more times than the years of his life. And Rabbi Lazarus said he saw, and this is just a tremendous lesson. He said he saw Rabbi Miller give advice quietly to a balabas who was having shalom bayis issues, and he said, "Go take your wife to the movies." That's Rabbi Victor Miller, who spoke against movies and spoke against television. And I don't speak against them. I watch movies and television, but the old ones mostly. I don't, and mostly I don't watch, and it's amazing to me, how many of my and it's not a judgment because I have my things and they have their things, but like how many of my Facebook friends, either we're talking about a boxing match that went on this weekend, and everyone was talking about this boxing match, and I didn't even know what was going on, and I really didn't care. And I remember, when I was a kid, like my parents, there was some like big boxing match, and it was like a famous one where like the whole thing was just like 2 minutes long, and it was over. It was like, and it was like, I don't remember which one, whatever it was, but like they made this big deal about this, and to me it just didn't make any sense. It had no appeal to me. I love watching the big monsters in the rubber suits fighting. That I like to see, but Godzilla and things like King Kong and all those things, even that, it's not so much the fighting and it's not so much the destruction. I just like to see the monsters. I just like to see how they look and things like that. That's just me, But and then also how many people are like obsessed with a show. I'm not going to mention the name. And everybody's talking about this show, and I never saw it, Baruch Hashem, and I've heard that it's just filled with violence and snus and all kinds of things. Not that I've never seen things like that. I'm trying to be better, but like the thing is like, I know my approach generally with television shows and things is one of attrition, meaning like the only show that I really feel like I need to watch is The Simpsons. I remember when I was a kid, I said The Simpsons should be on until Mashiach comes, and it looks like it's coming true, but again, this is not what I want to talk about, so I should really end this video, but instead I'm going to just talk about what I really want to talk about, because I really had something serious to talk about. I think I should make a different video, but the thing is, I'm so surprised how many of my friends who are pious Orthodox Jews or who are pious Christians they get into these shows, and I'm just like, really? I was like, it just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know. And maybe it would, but but also, like I said, I've had this long time, except for with documentaries and things like that, and, I have this attrition system. Once The Simpsons goes off the air, I don't want to start a new show, but so mostly, I'll still watch the old shows, Mystery Science Theater 3000. They came back, so I didn't even watch all the new episodes. I watched the Fuller House. They made a video about it, and I watched some, and I just was so sickened by it, to be honest, and it just was so surprising to me, because when the show came out, they said this is the only unabashedly family-friendly show on TV, and it's really not family-friendly, to be honest. And so I just stopped watching it, and I didn't watch any more episodes. I might watch it, I don't know, but I don't know. It's just like it's I don't know. It's hard to say, but like I said, I still love the old things. And I love to go meet these old actors at the conventions and things. Those things, I enjoy that type of stuff. It was fun to meet Larry Storch and Bird-Eye Gordon and Terry Moore and all these at Monster Bash, and to meet Pete and Pete, and to have Mark Wiener at our Malava Malika. But alright, it is what it is. Alright. Let's take a breath, and I'm going to make a different video. I have 10 minutes until I get to work. I'm going to make a different video about what I really wanted to say, and this one's not going to be as long. So thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Let's continue this conversation and talk more. I'm not saying that what Rabbi Miller said is a heter to watch TV, though. I'm just saying people have to be realistic. People and people are realistic, and we should. And also we have to be in control and not be addicted. Although it's very easy to get addicted, and I know myself, I'm addicted to all these things, to Facebook and all these things, and but I'm also addicted to making these YouTube videos, so hopefully it'll be lucrative. I've watched this Jumpstart Academy, the free videos that they had. I'm not going to spend $1,000 to take their course. They gave, I think, enough information, like I said, that you can figure out on your own, and I can also talk to other people who I know, and I would like to use some of those things. Maybe, they we'll talk about that later. All right. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment. That's what I really love, is to have the comments, have the discussion. Let's I noticed that like 90% of my viewers are not subscribers. Please subscribe. And even if you don't have, it's not that hard to start a YouTube profile, and it's going to really help you watch YouTube, because if you open your own profile on YouTube, it just goes straight through your Gmail account. Even if you don't have a Gmail account, whatever, it's very easy. Not only that, but once you do that, then YouTube is going to send you videos that you are going to like. They have wonderful algorithms that figure out what goes according to your taste. Alright, we're going to stop here and continue, make a separate video about this other subject that I really want to talk about. Alright, God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be well. Thank you.